Hello, my friend, and welcome to Sharing Calm. My name is Sydney, and today I have a yin yoga practice to share with you. It is the day after the autumn equinox, the autumnal equinox, so we have officially transitioned into longer nights and shorter days. Sometimes some people find this a wonderful time of the year. Some people find that to be a little bit depressing, but the reality is that life has cycles, and nature, as well as ourselves as part of nature, is constantly finding this balance, this harmony within the fluctuations of life. And ultimately, that is the practice of yoga, or what the practice of yoga asks of us is to still the fluctuations of the mind. So, within the constantly cycling, thinking, habit patterns of the mind, to find the space of stillness, of balance, of bliss, that infinite root that is always there, regardless of the happenings externally. Now, our practice today, yin, will focus a lot on stillness, which relates pretty strongly to the darkness, the longer nights, the cooling down of energies. And in a way, we will also reflect on some awareness of Chinese medicine theory as we practice. But our practice will be about an hour long, so let's get right into it. You'll likely want at least one blanket or some kind of a towel, and you may want other props, might want blocks or things, but none of that is necessary beyond a blanket or towel of some kind. Starting out, we'll find a comfortable seated position. So any comfortable seat works perfectly fine. You might even sit yourself up onto the blanket or towel that you have folded just beneath the sit bones to help the spine just naturally feel a little bit more lifted. Let yourself close your eyes if that's comfortable, or a very soft gaze downward, downcast. Bringing your awareness right here, right now. Thinking about all your thoughts, all your energy that has been extended outward, coming back inward. Like this first posture is you inviting yourself back into yourself. Noticing your body here. Noticing your breath. Whatever is there to be found, witnessing without judgment. The feelings in the body, the sensations, the cycle of the breath flowing in, flowing out. The breath, a cycle not dissimilar to the seasons that cycle throughout the year, noticing the beginning of the breath, the peak of the breath, the exhale, the softening, the release. Noticing the valley of the breath and how the cycle begins again and again, almost as though there is no particular beginning or ending, just constant flux and change. Inhale the breath in. Exhale, blinking the eyes open if they're closed, relaxing your posture. You can take your hands behind you for a moment, especially if your legs were cross-legged, extending them out. If you're kneeling, letting the legs go long for a moment. And taking it into our second posture, first real yin posture beyond just a meditative seat to land. Our butterfly pose coming next. Bringing the soles of your feet together, letting the knees open out wide. Aiming for you to feel this in the groin, so the target area being the inner thighs. You might feel that right away with the knees open wide, sitting tall here, perhaps inviting a hinge at the hips, folding forward and down, allows you to feel that target area stronger. But it's possible that this butterfly shape is not comfortable for your legs. So if it feels better and you're feeling the target area accessing sensation there more by taking the feet wider, maybe even knees to the sky, or kind of anywhere in between works just as well. If you're really flexible, some people like to bring these feet up onto a block or something of some sort. Then you lean forward from there. I don't have that to demo, but imagine something under my feet, lifting them up, gives more space for the knees to drop out open wide. So anywhere between that, feet together or feet widening, so that you can feel the inner thighs. And what I mean by feeling the inner thighs is feeling some sort of sensation of stretching there, some sort of sensation of lengthening there. You might and likely will also feel sensations elsewhere in the body, but at the very least, I want you to feel something through the inner hips. You might be still sitting up onto something, but it's possible that sitting up onto something is not helping you to feel sensations through the inner thighs. And you want to feel enough that your attention is anchored, but not so much that it feels like you'll be unable to sustain whatever posture you've chosen for a period of time. If there's any pain in the knee joints in particular, then you might benefit from folding some sort of prop, blanket, or pillow underneath the outsides of the knees, one or both. I've been having some pain in my left knee for a while now, and often just this little bit of a lift of a blanket removes that pain right deep in the knee joint while still allowing me to access the stretch through the inner thigh. So things that can't always be seen from the outside, but you may be feeling them inside. So allow yourself the opportunity to support your body. You might think I look off balance here. If you want to be more balanced, you can support the other side, whether it needs it or not. And then once you've found your sensation, your appropriate place of sensation, what we call our edge, then allow your body to be still right there. If you're unable to allow the body to be still, that either means one of two things that are coming to mind right now. Either you've gone too far, you're pushing or forcing your body too far, or you're not supporting your body somewhere that it needs some extra support. Sometimes that means pillows or blocks underneath the head or the chest, or as I mentioned, underneath the knees or the thighs, or perhaps underneath the sit bones. Once you've ensured that you can remain relatively still, we simply allow the time to pass. We allow the day to turn to night. We allow the breath to move from inhale to exhale. We allow the seasons of life to change, to flow, to fluctuate. And with this allowing, we invite ourselves to release any kind of grip, any sense of control, surrendering. Take one more breath here. And on your inhale, sitting back up tall if you're folded forward. Close the knees together and extend the legs out long. Let that go. Coming into Sphinx pose next. Transitioning yourself onto your belly, onto your front side. So through hands and knees, extending the legs long, bringing the thighs, the hips down, lifting the upper body up by propping the elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms parallel in front of you. Palms can be down or up. Maybe up invites this just receptive energy towards whatever is coming. Perhaps palms down for a sense more so of grounding and stability as we move into this next season of life. Allowing yourself to be inspired by nature. The process of the trees reaching their peak and giving us a show of colors and brightness and life right before they choose to release it all back to the earth. To dig deep in their roots so they stay stable and solid, preparing to move into the season of rest that is on the horizon ahead. So maybe through this practice, reflecting on what it is that you in your life this year have to celebrate. What is reaching its peak? And how can you prepare yourself to release whatever it is that has come this year, letting yourself gain whatever wisdom came with it, and letting go of the rest. Feel your spine softly descending forward and down in the torso. Relax the muscles of the back body. You can always widen the feet here. And also always take breaks in any posture and come back into it, or exit a posture early and leave it behind. And the purpose is to gain what it is that you need from the practice to seek more harmony. And only you know from each posture what is to be gained and what is not needed. Keeping the mind present, steady, and stable with each breath, each part of the cycle, fully aware of what is flowing in and what is flowing out. Take one more big breath in here. And let yourself take the elbows wide so you can release the chest and the head down. Maybe making a pillow for your head with your hands or your arms. The back goes straight for a moment. And then press your way all the way back up onto all fours. And transitioning yourself into a child's pose. So you can either have the knees close together or open the knees wide, big toes somewhat towards one another, maybe touching. Let your hips press back towards the heels. They may or may not get all the way there. Walk the hands forward and release the forehead down. If having the arms extending straight forward is in any way straining for the shoulders, if there's compression in the upper back, you can always bend the elbows here instead, opt to pillow under the forehead with the hands, or maybe one arm extended at a time, or both arms together. If this is compressing in the hips in a way that is not beneficial, you can alternatively come down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, hands either on the shins, the knees, or behind the thighs. Finding a sense a bit of relief through the back, through the spine. Either a little or a lot, feeling opening through the hips. And if your chest is facing down, then perhaps feeling an opening through the front of the chest and the shoulders here. On an inhale, exiting the posture that you're in. Making your way into a seated position once again. If you're on your back, pressing your way up. Taking the legs out wide as is comfortable for you. Again, you might sit up onto your blanket here. So folding blanket or towel, lifting the hips up, sliding that right underneath the tailbone. And that can sometimes help to encourage you to sit a little bit taller. We're taking this one side at a time. So turning your chest towards your left leg. Might feel this in a big way through your inner thighs already, even sitting upright. I know I do. I did a long drive yesterday. I'm feeling this strong. But notice for yourself, if you're at your own edge and you want to stay upright, or if you'd like to hinge at the hips any amount, folding the belly and the chest towards the left leg. Remember not to feel any sense of fighting or forcing yourself deeper. Think of each pose as an invitation to soften. Finding the edge and then softly releasing into it. Noticing as time passes where you're straining, where you're working harder than necessary. And see if you can do a little less in order to find more space. Take one more breath here and start to exit the pose, sitting yourself back up tall if you were folded forward, gently turning the chest through center. You can always move around through the shoulders and the neck. You can always close the legs together if you need for just a couple breaths. Then when you are ready, starting to twist the upper body in the opposite direction, turning towards the right leg this time. Again, notice how just that turn activates sensation through the inner thighs. Sitting up tall through the chest, feel that peak height. And then perhaps hinging at the hips, letting yourself fold gently forward and down, like the trees gently releasing their leaves down, finding your edge and settle there. Settle and steady the mind, settle and steady the body in stillness. Witnessing the stillness and the change all happening at the same time. The vibrating sensations in the body, the constant of the cycling breath. Perhaps the thinking mind, thinking, telling stories, reflecting, or anything else. And all the while, these fluctuations are happening, keeping your awareness stable, rooted and present. Take one more breath here. And then starting to lift back tall if you're folded forward. Turning the chest back to the center. Breathing here, sitting upright and tall, maybe relaxing the legs. You can always bend the knees or close the legs for a moment. Then making your way back eventually to this wide leg straddle, this dragonfly shape. And then folding forward through the center this time. Again, you might stay upright. The hands may be behind you for support, and perhaps that is enough. Perhaps you're feeling enough sensation through the inner thighs, or hinging at the hips to fold forward and down. And similar to that butterfly shape we took at the beginning, where you might like a different variation, it is possible that bending the knees a little or a lot here might feel best. Might be where your edge is of sensation a little, but not too much. So you might try with the legs straight. You might try with bending and see what allows you to access the sensation to the appropriate degree for you without straining the joints in a sharp or painful way. In Chinese medicine, the organ networks associated with fall, with autumn, are the lung and the large intestine meridians. So here in this shape, you really might witness the lungs breathing and the constant interplay of the receiving of the breath, followed by the letting go. Receiving the breath in, taking from the breath what we need, oxygen, nutrients, all the good stuff. And then letting go whatever we do not need. On the exhale, literally releasing from our bodies, from the breath, what does not serve us, what is not needed. Feeling the breath flow in, inviting circulation of blood, of life, of prana, of this life force flowing through. And each exhale, letting yourself soften. What are you ready to release here in this next season ahead? As you inhale the next breath in, start to sit back up if you're folded forward. And then let yourself bend the knees if they're not already. You can help yourself to bend them. Take your time. Closing the legs together, maybe wrapping the arms around the legs for a moment. We'll set up for our next posture, supported fish pose with the blanket. You can take supported fish with blocks or with a bigger bolster cushion, but today we're going to take it with a blanket. So folding your blanket so that it can come basically behind the upper back, so behind the ribs. You can have the knees bent as you descend down onto your blanket, sliding it just towards the bottom of the ribs and letting yourself drape over top. The shoulders might feel better to be on the blanket or off the blanket. So depending on the length of your torso, the way you fold your blanket might look a little bit different. If you want more of a lift, maybe you add a second blanket or a pillow. And then you can let the arms go wide or overhead, maybe more like a goalpost. Feeling a nice, soft opening of the chest to really tap into that awareness of our lungs, our relationship to the metal element, and the meridian lines that pass through the chest and the arms. Feeling with a gentle lift of the chest, soft stimulation down through the arms. The large intestine, similar to the lungs, takes in and absorbs nutrients from food, then lets all the waste, all the excess go. And our body naturally does this releasing process for us. You don't have to ask our lungs to breathe out the exhale. We don't have to ask our intestines to release the waste from our system. Just like we don't have to ask the trees in our yard or in our neighborhood to let go of the leaves. But we must let go in order to find a period of rest, no matter how short, just a pause at the bottom of the breath, or the entire season of winter ahead. We have to be able to let go in order to find space to rest. We find space to rest so that we can prepare for new growth, the cycle beginning eventually again. If we continue to hold on to thoughts, to habits, to things, literal things, to people, to commitments that do not serve us, then we may be perhaps not allowing ourselves the space for something new, something fresh to come. So again, reflecting here on if there's anything that you're holding or gripping or clutching onto, any clinging. Can you soften the grip, releasing the tension, and eventually, totally and completely let it go. Take one more breath here. And take the arms down if they're lifted to the sides or overhead. Gently lift the head, tucking the chin to the chest, or you might just roll to the side to roll off the blanket, either rolling to the side or lifting yourself up so you can move that blanket away and come to lie all the way down. Feel the back, especially the upper back, lying down flat, and then extend the arms overhead, extend the legs long. This full body stretch here. Moving towards banana pose, taking the feet over to the right side, right corner of your mat, if you're on a mat. Crossing the left ankle over top of the right ankle, only if that feels all right. And then with the upper body, you might shimmy the shoulders to the right. So you have this long banana shape from the hands to the feet. The right hand might grab the left wrist so the left hand can just relax. focusing on this space from the left pinky finger down to the left pinky toe. Now, for some, it feels better to bend either the left knee or the right knee up to the sky. For some people, that gives more space in the hips within this side bend. For some, it feels better to bend the elbows rather than have the arms straight. So allow yourself some freedom, doing whatever you need to feel that long line from pinky to pinky, finger to toe. And then surrender into the shape, the stillness. Let yourself gradually make your way back to the center. So shifting the shoulders back to middle. You might take the arms down for a moment. Shifting the legs back to center. You might bend the knees for a moment. And then moving to the opposite side, extending the legs long, extending the arms long overhead, taking the feet, the legs towards the left. You might cross the right ankle on top of the left ankle. Again, it might feel better to bend one knee or the other. And once the legs are situated, letting the shoulders and the arms shimmy to the left as well. The left hand might grab the right wrist. In a way, you're thinking about the right hip and right shoulder being really heavy, moving down towards the ground behind you. Let yourself exit banana pose, bringing the arms down, taking the upper body back to the center, Bringing the legs back to the center. You might bend the knees for a moment. You might end up rocking the knees side to side. Might feel good to hug the knees to the chest, rock the legs side to side. Finding any last little movements here that feel beneficial to your body. So noticing if there's anything that the body's calling out for. Maybe the low back would like a final twist or a glute stretch through figure 4 or anything else. Maybe just circling the knees, rocking side to side. And from here, transitioning towards your final resting pose, your Shavasana. You might like to take the blanket that you have and cover yourself up. You might like to take the blanket that you have and roll it or fold it so that you can put it underneath the knees, inviting a little bit of a bend through the knees. If you need more, you can always put pillows or more blankets, additional props underneath the knees, or just bend them. We'll take a nice long Shavasana here, so about 10 minutes of stillness, meaning that I really want you to take the time to set yourself up for success here in this pose, just as important as all the rest, if not more. You might roll the shoulders a little bit down and under the chest. Let the legs and the arms open as wide from the body as necessary. As wide as is necessary for the limbs to relax. The legs, the arms, not needing to provide any action or apply any effort here. Allow the arms and the legs to release, to relax, to let go. Feeling on each exhale as though the front layer of your body is descending down into the back body. Each exhale heavier, heavier, heavier. And then the back body from there on each exhale, descending down into the ground that is right beneath you. Heavier, heavier, heavier. Letting the face relax, skin, the eyes, the jaw. Allowing your mind to rest, perhaps in the space of the heart, in the center of the chest. Allowing the mind to rest with the soft and subtle rise and fall of the breath. Letting the mind rest in the heart space, perhaps connecting deep with your true self, your soul within your heart. The soul witnessing the body breathe and process the cycle of prana, the energetic flow of breath in and through, and eventually back out. Receiving and letting go without clinging or craving to the breath, receiving and letting go. Start to bring your awareness back to the room that you're in, back to your body in the room, and back to your breath in your body. Start to breathe a little bit deeper. And as you breathe deeper, start to bring movement back into the body. You can start out really small. Take it as slow as you'd like, rolling wrists and ankles, maybe a full body stretch with the arms overhead, bending at the knees, eventually making your way over onto one side. And then from your side, gently pressing your way all the way up to sitting. Sitting up tall, back where we began to complete this cycle, though feeling likely quite different. Sitting up tall through the spine. Hands can rest in the lap or connecting the palms together in front of the heart. This gesture and a moment for gratitude, for noticing how the practice has affected you and finding gratitude for that awareness. Feeling gratitude towards yourself for finding the time and the space in your day to practice. And feeling a moment of gratitude for anything else in your life that comes to mind. Perhaps this season that we just completed, summer season, feeling gratitude for something that came from it, some bountiful harvest, or some sort of deep wisdom or lessons that you've learned. Noticing here how you feel again at the conclusion of your practice. If it feels right for you, you might lift the thumb knuckles up to the center of the forehead, this third eye center, recognizing the inner guide, the goodness, the light that exists within each of us, connects each of us together. That we are part of this nature all at once. That guide, that light, that goodness within me bows with respect, reverence, and gratitude to each of you out there. Namaste. And thank you, my friend, for sharing your practice, your time, your energy with me today. I'm here always if you have any questions about your practice, about your yoga, your meditation. Feel free to comment below, letting me know, what are you letting go of this fall season ahead? Make some space. Give yourself the ample opportunity to rest by shedding some layers, shedding some weight of life, whatever it is for you. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I would love it if you did so. Give me a like on this video if it served you in some way. And until next time, I wish you a wonderful remainder of your day and a great week ahead. I'll see you soon, my friends. Goodbye.